Are you being intentional while working toward your goals? Or are you simply being busy and never making any of your goals come to fruition? We can all fall into the trap of busy versus productive and never make our dreams a reality. Goal setting should help you be more productive, not more busy. Are you stressed and anxious at school and feel like you want to throw in the towel and become a park ranger, a basket weaver, or anything at all that isn't in education? Or are you just ready to move into a different type of job in education? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to work from home or own your own business and own your own time, but don't know what to do or how to do it. Welcome to Empowered Educator. Maybe you're ready to leave your classroom job and move into administration. Maybe you want to leave public education completely and pursue a career that keeps you in the field of education, but is different than what you're doing now. Maybe you just want to make more money or work from home, but you're just not sure about the options that are out there. Hey friend, I'm Melinda, an educator, entrepreneur, coffee, and Jesus lover. When it was time for me to leave the classroom and pursue something different, something more, I knew it completely, and I had no doubt that God was telling me to move forward and to trust Him. And now my mission is to empower you to dig deep and know what options are available for teachers ready to transition from the classroom, educators ready to try something different, and educators ready to retire and pursue that second career. Imagine working in a career that sets your soul on fire, or working from home in a career you love, and scheduling your entire day your way. If you're ready to make that change and pursue a different path in your educational career, then you're in the right place. Friend, let me show you how to make a change in your life and pursue your true passions with a position that you love while using your God-given gifts and talents to persevere toward your personal and professional goals. So grab your coffee or tea, your notebook and pen, and relax in your favorite spot. Friend, it's time to dig deep, take notes, and grow yourself and choose your next career path. Hey friends! Welcome to the show today. I'm your host, Mel Vandevort, and I hope you're doing amazing on this super awesome Monday. It's the beginning of the work week, and it's a new opportunity to set some goals and accomplish those goals. So let's talk about that today. Are you being intentional about your goals? How can you work to be more productive and not just busy? Movement doesn't always mean that you're productive. I am a classic case of that, especially with my ADHD. I have a ton of calendars and checklists and to-do lists, and somehow it makes me feel like I've accomplished something when I can mark things off the list. However, sometimes it's just busy work. So don't just do busy work. Sometimes we think we're accomplishing something because we are working and doing things, but sometimes it just falls into that busy work and you're not really getting anything done. I am so bad to start one project and then I'll think of something else. And I am that person who has 95 tabs open on their computer at any given time. It is ridiculous and very not productive. We need to make sure that our work is meaningful, and we need to let God guide us into doing the things that will move us along His path toward completing our goals. I've identified 7 ways that you can make sure that you're being more productive and not just busy. Number 1, be mindful in your thinking. I've been learning a lot about mindfulness since I've started this journey. And one thing is being very present in the moment. Yeah, you can always glance back at the past, but don't live there. We only need to look back at the past as a learning experience. what we've learned from it, what we've learned not to do, what we've learned to do more efficiently or more effectively, how it made us feel, whether we accomplished anything. Those are the things we need to look back at, but not live on what you didn't accomplish, how you could have done it better, but we bring stress with that or anxiety over that, and we just absolutely beat ourselves up over it. That's not why we're looking back. And when you're being mindful, get to know yourself, get to know who you are and what you want. Get crystal clear on your goals. And number 2, be mindful in setting those goals. Set some small goals and work to accomplish those, and then work on those larger goals along the way. We learn how to set and accomplish goals when we start with something small. Those goals don't have to have anything at all to do with your work or your career or anything like that. You can do small goals on things like, I am trying to get back into jogging, so I'm trying to be very mindful about getting up, getting out there early before it gets too warm, and getting in a little bit of jog time. It's taking a while, but as long as I'm consistent and I set that goal and I work toward that goal, I can accomplish it. And anything you can do for self-care is always good, because if you are caring for yourself first, then you're able to accomplish all of those goals that you really want to. Because if you are not in a good headspace or a good physical space, then you just don't have the capacity to accomplish your work or career goals. And visualize your goals. Really think about those and make sure that your goal that you are thinking about is the goal that you really want to accomplish. Number 3, get organized. Prioritize your goals, write them down, get them out of your head and onto some paper so you can see them and you can learn to visualize them. I get organized by using online tools. So I have a Google Calendar. I use Trello to help me get organized on what my day looks like. I have a to-do list that's on my phone. That way, when I'm out and about, I'm productive and I don't forget things if I have a list, because my brain it's crazy right now. I'm in that season of life where I forget things really badly. And so I write those down. So I have that in front of me at all times. If you're a tangible person, that's okay. You don't have to do online stuff. You can have an actual desk calendar and a planner, a physical planner, and those work great. I have Rocketbook that I use, and it's not a planner, but I write things in there and I take notes in there, and I have kind of created a place in there where I can have a to-do list. Even though I love my online version of everything, I'm still very visual and I still feel like I need to mark things off. That just makes me feel better and more productive. And do some time blocking when you're working and you're trying to build your business, whether it be building a VA business, becoming a principal or an assistant principal, or moving into a consultancy or instructional design, whatever it is that you are wanting to do, make sure that you are blocking off time while you're working your other job, if that's the case, so you can work on making that goal a reality. You may have to get up early and you may have to work before you go to work. You may have to take your lunch and have a working lunch and eat while you work on some things, whether it's preparation, whether it's a college course, whatever it is that you have to do, make sure you're blocking off that time. When you get home of an evening, make sure you do your self-care first and then take time to do whatever it is to prepare yourself for that next career that you're wanting to go into. And set reminders so you don't forget. That is super important. I take guests on my shows and I let everybody schedule through Calendly. And for some reason, my phone did not pop up one of my discovery calls the other day. And I missed a discovery call with someone who could come on my podcast and add value. And I felt horrible about that because it did not pop up. And that is something that brings me stress. So make sure that you don't miss those things because that adds stress for me anyway. Number 4, choose the correct yeses. You do not have to do all the things. And friends, let me tell you, I am so guilty of doing too much and getting worn out, burned out while working on my podcast and working to grow my coaching business. I was doing way more than I needed to. I felt like I needed to have a social media presence in all of the places. I joined some Facebook groups so I could do some market research, get some information. And then all of a sudden my inbox is flooded with all of this crap that just gives me stress. And email lists, like you can't join a Facebook group without getting on an email list. Or if you click on something and you really want their download and you want to check it out because it sounds really good and you don't know if it is until you give them your email. And let me give you a little tip. Create a junk email. I use one of my really old emails that I no longer use for anything important, and that's what I sign up with. So my good inbox stays clean. But back to what I was saying, I was doing way too much in my business and I was getting overwhelmed and stressed out and burned out because I just felt like I was sitting at my computer all the time and I wasn't taking time to do my own self-care. So I'm getting much better at that and started to take my own advice, because aren't we terrible about that? We give advice, but we are creatures of not taking our own advice. Be intentional about what you're working on at any given time. And again, with my ADHD brain, I overcommit myself and I go from one thing to another. And so there have been days where I've worked for 4 hours and I've not completed one single task. I've gone from one task to another, to another, to another, and I've done little bits of these tasks, but I've not completed any of them. So I have to be really careful about that. And when you're thinking about your yeses that you're going to choose, what correct yeses to choose, really weigh out those pros and cons. Me being on social media and really pushing that was not growing my podcast listeners. And I had to cut back because it was just getting too much. Now I really am very focused on specific areas where I know that I'll be seen and where there's interaction. Number 5, when you're trying to accomplish those goals of a career change, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, your big life goals, you may have to make some necessary short-term sacrifices. If you're trying to grow a VA business or coaching or consulting or instructional design, you may have to get up early. You may have to stay up a little later. You may have to sacrifice some TV time. If you have a significant other, you may have to sacrifice just a little bit of time with that person. I don't mean sacrifice all your time, but you may have to say, okay, this night and this night I'm working, and then this night and this night we will spend together. So make sure that you're really mindful about that. And I can't stress this enough because I've fallen into this trap a million times. Stay away from social media because that is the biggest time eater ever. And keep practicing that self-care so you don't get burned out and stressed out. Number 6, get excited and celebrate your wins. Don't look at whatever your career change is, whatever it is that you are seeking to do. Don't look at it as a mountain that you have to climb. Look at it as an adventure that you get to be on. God doesn't put us where we aren't supposed to be. And it's not always about the destination with Him. It's about the journey sometimes. And He always has a destination, but our destination is going to be ever changing, because once He uses us for whatever it is He's wanting to use us for, He's going to move us on. So we're always going to get to be on an adventure. And celebrate each milestone. When you get your first client, celebrate. If you are doing a podcast, celebrate your first 100 downloads, your first 10 episodes, your first 100 episodes. Celebrate everything that will keep you motivated and keep you being productive. Because if you're not, then you just continue to look at what you're not accomplishing instead of what you are accomplishing. And so sometimes we get in that negative mindset instead of that positive mindset. So always, always be thinking about what you have accomplished and then keep hitting those next milestones and celebrating those. Number 7, be self-reflective. Think about every aspect to see if you're optimized for success and productivity. If you're taking college courses, are you committing 100% to do your best and learn the most from those? Or if you're doing some individual courses that you found online, are you committing time to make sure that you are getting through those courses and that you're learning and you're taking in everything that you need to be successful? You spent money. You don't want it to be wasted. Be very reflective about your work-life balance. You don't want to work too much and again, burn yourself out, wear yourself out, stress yourself out. Anxiety comes very easily for me when I get stressed, and I don't like that. And so I have to manage that. And don't live in those past failures. I can't say it enough. Look at those, reflect on those, course correct, self-correct, and move forward. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please hop on over to Apple Podcasts or Apple iTunes and leave me a rating and a review. That helps get my show noticed, and it helps me to know what you are enjoying, what content you're enjoying. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. May the Lord bless and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift you up and give you peace. Have an amazing week, my friends. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.